November 14th, 1973, 6 p.m. Los Angeles. Dean Paul Martin stands in his small apartment in West Hollywood, looking at the clock. 22 years old today. The apartment is modest, clean but not fancy. He's a working actor now, doing bit parts, auditions, trying to build something that's his own, not his father's. His own. His friends are coming over in an hour. Pizza, beer, cake from the grocery store. Nothing elaborate, just a low-key celebration. He's learned not to expect much on birthdays. Learned not to hope his father will show up. Learned that disappointment is easier to manage when you don't build it up first. The phone rings. Dean Paul looks at it. 6 p.m. exactly. Like clockwork. Every year, the same time, his father calling from wherever he is. Vegas, New York, some hotel, some dressing room. 5 minutes of conversation. Happy birthday, kid. Love you. Gotta run. Show tonight. Next time we'll celebrate properly. Next time. Always next time. Dean Paul picks up the phone. Hello? But it's not his father's voice. It's Mac Gray, his father's assistant for 20 years. Dean Paul? Mac? Where's Dad? That's why I'm calling. He needs to talk to you, but he can't find your number. He's looking through everything. He's in a state. I've never seen him like this. Can you call him right now? Dean Paul feels something shift. His father loses things. His father forgets things. But panic? That's not his father. Dean Martin doesn't panic. Dean Martin is cool. Always cool.
What's wrong? Is he okay?
He's fine. He just needs to talk to you. Call the Plaza. Room 817. Now. The line goes dead. Dean Paul stares at the phone. Something's off. Something's different. He dials the Plaza Hotel in New York, asks for room 8017. 2 rings. His father answers, out of breath. Dino. Nobody calls him Dino except his father. Dad? What's wrong? Mac said. What's your address? What? Your address. Right now. What is it? Dad, you know my address. You've been here. I lost it. I can't find the paper. Just tell me. Dean Paul tells him. His father repeats it back twice, writing it down, making sure. Okay, good. Open your door. What? Your front door. Open it, right now. Dean Paul walks to the door, his heart beating faster. Something is happening, something he doesn't understand. He opens the door. His father is standing there, in the hallway, in Los Angeles, holding a large box wrapped in brown paper. Still wearing his stage clothes, black tuxedo pants, white shirt, bow tie loose around his neck. He looks exhausted. His hair is messy. His eyes are red. Dean Paul can't move, can't speak. His father is supposed to be in New York, 3,000 miles away. Supposed to be on the Tonight Show tonight. Supposed to be calling from a hotel room with a 5-minute birthday greeting. Dad, how are you? You're supposed to be. I was. I'm not anymore. Can I come in? Dean Paul steps aside. His father walks in, sets the box on the small kitchen table, looks around the apartment, takes it in, the modest furniture, the posters on the walls, the scripts stacked on the coffee table. His son's life, his son's space, a space he's barely ever visited. You flew here, Dean Paul says, still processing, from New York, today. Yeah. Oh, you're supposed to be on Carson tonight. I was. You cancelled? I cancelled. Dean Paul sits down slowly. This doesn't make sense. His father doesn't cancel the Tonight Show. The Tonight Show is important. National television. Millions of viewers. Career obligations. His father always honors obligations. Always shows up. Always performs. Except for birthdays. Except for school plays. Except for graduations. Those he misses, those get next time. Why? Dean Paul asks quietly. His father sits down across from him, looks at his hands, looks at his son, and for the first time in Dean Paul's memory, his father looks vulnerable, not cool, not composed, just tired, just human. How many birthdays have I missed? Dean Paul doesn't want to answer that. Dad, you don't have to. How many? Most of them. His father nods, expected that answer. How many times have I said next time? A lot. How many times have I actually shown up? Dean Paul looks down. Not many. Any? Silence. The answer is no. The answer has always been no. But saying it out loud feels cruel. Feels like twisting a knife. His father says it for him. None. I've never shown up. Not once. 22 birthdays, 22 next times, and every single time I had a good reason. A show, a recording session, a meeting, something important, something that couldn't be rescheduled. He pauses, looks directly at his son. Except it could have been. All of it could have been rescheduled. I just never tried. Because the show was easier. The career was easier. Showing up for strangers who paid for tickets was easier than showing up for you, because strangers don't know when you fail them, but sons do. Dean Paul's throat is tight. He's never heard his father talk like this, never heard this honesty, this raw admission. This morning, his father continues, I woke up in New York, got ready for Carson, put on the tux, looked in the mirror, and I thought about you, thought about the fact that you're 22 today. And I thought about calling you at 6 p.m., 5 minutes, happy birthday, love you, next time. And then I thought, how many more next times do I have? He leans forward. I'm 56 years old, you're 22. Math is simple. You have more birthdays ahead than I do. You have time, I don't. Not as much. And I asked myself, when is next time? When am I actually going to stop saying it and start doing it? Next year, when you're 23. 25, 30, when? His father's voice cracks slightly, and the answer came back, never. If I don't do it now, I'll never do it. There will always be a show, always be a career, always be an excuse, but there won't always be birthdays. There won't always be you and me in the same timeline. So I called the producer. I said, I'm not coming. I called the airline. I got on a plane, and I came here, because this is where I should be, not on Carson, here. Dean Paul realizes he's crying. Didn't even feel it start, just tears running down his face. His father reaches across the table, puts his hand on his son's hand. I can't get back the 21 I missed. I can't undo that, but I can be here for this one. So I am. I'm here. They sit like that, father and son, hands touching, no words, just presence. Finally, Dean Paul speaks. You really cancelled Carson? I really cancelled Carson. They're going to be furious. Probably. Don't care. It's national television. It's every week. This is once. You're 22 once. I can't get this back. Dean Paul wipes his eyes. What about your career? What if they don't invite you back? His father smiles. A real smile. Not the Dean Martin smile. Just his smile. Then they don't invite me back. I've had a career. A long one. And you know what it's cost me? You, your brother, your sisters, your mother. I've traded every important relationship for applause from strangers, and strangers don't visit you when you're dying. Strangers don't remember you when you're gone. But sons do, if you're lucky, if you haven't screwed it up too badly. He pushes the brown paper-wrapped box across the table. Open it. Dean Paul pulls the box closer, unwraps it carefully. Inside is a guitar case. Old, worn leather, scratched and faded. He opens the case. Inside is a guitar, acoustic, beautiful, despite its age. The wood is dark, rich. The strings look newer, recently replaced. But the body of the guitar is old, decades old. There are scratches, dings, places where the finish has worn away from hands holding it for years. Dean Paul looks up. Dad, is this my first guitar? My father bought it for me in 1933. I was 16. We didn't have money, but he saved. Took him a year to save enough. He bought it from a pawn shop in Steubenville, $40. Might as well have been $1,000. It was the most valuable thing we owned. His father reaches out, touches the guitar gently. I learned every song I know on this guitar. Sat in that barber shop after it closed. Played for hours, taught myself chords, taught myself melodies. This guitar is the reason I have a career. The reason I'm Dean Martin instead of Dino Crocetti cutting hair in Ohio. He looks at his son, and I want you to have it. Dean Paul shakes his head. Dad, no, this is yours. This is your history. I can't. You can, and you will, Because a guitar isn't meant to sit in a case, it's meant to be played, and I don't play anymore. Not really, I perform, but I don't sit down and just play. Haven't in years. But you do. I've heard you. You play because you love it, not because someone's paying you, not because there's an audience, just because the music matters. He closes the case gently. That's what this guitar is for someone who still loves music, who hasn't forgotten why it matters. That's you, so it's yours now. Dean Paul can't speak, can't process this. His father never gives away anything personal, never shares his past, never opens up like this. And now he's giving away his first guitar, the most important object from his entire life. I don't know what to say. Don't say anything. Just play it. That's all I want. Play it. Remember where it came from. Remember that it's not about being famous. It's about loving the music. Don't make my mistakes. Don't trade the real thing for the performance. A knock at the door. Dean Paul's friends arriving for the party. He looks at his father. That's my friends. We're just having pizza, and can I stay? Dean Paul blinks. You want to stay? If that's okay. If I'm not intruding. Dad, you're never intruding, of course you can stay. His father smiles. Good, because I haven't had grocery store cake in 30 years, and I miss it. The friends come in. They recognize Dean Martin immediately. Go quiet. Awkward, starstruck. But Dean waves them in. Come in. I'm just Dean's dad tonight. Not anyone else, just his dad. They order pizza. 6 large pizzas. The apartment is crowded. 8 people in a space meant for 2. But nobody minds. Dean sits on the floor, his son next to him, the guitar between them. Play something, one of the friends says. Dean Paul looks at his father. Together? Yeah, together. They start with a simple song, an old standard. Nothing fancy. Dean Paul's fingers finding the chords on his father's old guitar, his father singing softly, not performing, not projecting, just singing, the way he used to in that barber shop 40 years ago. The friends watch in silence. This isn't Dean Martin the star. This is someone else, someone smaller, more real, more human. They play 3 songs. Then his father stops. Your turn. Play something you love, not something you think I want to hear, something you love. Dean Paul thinks, then starts playing, a song he wrote, never showed anyone, a melody that's been in his head for months. It's not polished, not perfect, but it's his. His father listens, really listens, and when the song ends, he nods. That's good, that's really good, you should record that. It's not finished. Doesn't matter, it's honest. That's more important than finished. They eat cake. Cheap grocery store cake with too sweet frosting. Dean eats 2 pieces, declares it the best cake he's had in years. Maybe he means it. Maybe he's just being a dad. Either way, his son believes him. Around midnight, the friends leave. Dean Paul and his father clean up, throw away paper plates, put leftover pizza in the small refrigerator. Normal things, father and son things, things they've never done together. His father gets ready to leave, calls a car service. Thank you for coming, Dean Paul says. This was the best birthday I've ever had. I should have been here for the other 21. You're here for this one. That's what matters. His father hugs him, a real hug, long, tight, not a casual pat on the back, a real embrace. I love you. I don't say it enough, but I do. I love you. I love you too, Dad. The car arrives. His father leaves. Dean Paul stands in his doorway, watching the taillights disappear. Then he goes back inside, sits on his couch, opens the guitar case, takes out his father's guitar. He plays until 3 in the morning, not performing, just playing, just because the music matters. That should be the end of the story. The happy ending. Father and son reconciled, guitar as symbol, love expressed, all tied up. But life doesn't work that way. Over the next months, Dean tries, he really tries. He calls more, visits more, makes more effort, but the career still demands, the shows still need him. And slowly, gradually, next time starts creeping back in. Not as often, but still there. Dean Paul understands, appreciates the effort, knows his father is trying. That's more than he had before. That's something. Years pass. Dean Paul's career grows. He gets better roles, makes a name for himself. Not as Dean Martin's son, as Dean Paul Martin, his own identity, his own success. He joins the California Air National Guard, becomes a pilot, flies F-4 Phantom jets. His father is terrified but proud. Terrified because it's dangerous. Proud because his son is brave. They talk more, not every day, but regularly. Real conversations, not just 5-minute check-ins, real dialogue about real things. March 21st, 1987. Dean Paul is 35 years old, flying a training mission over the San Bernardino Mountains. Routine, standard, something he's done 100 times. The weather is bad, clouds thick, visibility poor, but the mission is approved. They take off. At 1:52 p.m., Dean Paul's jet disappears from radar. Search teams deploy immediately, but the storm is too severe. They can't reach the crash site, can't confirm anything, can only search and wait and hope. Dean is in Beverly Hills, gets the call around 3 p.m. His son's plane is missing. The next 72 hours are hell, pure hell. Dean doesn't sleep, doesn't eat, just waits by the phone, praying for good news, preparing for bad news, existing in the liminal space between hope and horror. On the third day, they find the wreckage, high on the mountain, scattered across granite. The jet hit at full speed. There was no time to eject, no chance to survive. Dean Paul Martin died on impact. 35 years old, pilot, actor, son. Dean hears the news, the official confirmation, and something inside him breaks, not breaks, shatters, completely, irreparably. He doesn't scream, doesn't throw things, just sits down, stares at nothing. The light in his eyes goes out. The Dean Martin everyone knows, the cool, unshakable entertainer, dies in that moment. What's left is just a man, a father who lost his son. The funeral is enormous. Military honors, flag presentation, hundreds of people, celebrities, friends, family, everyone paying respects. Dean sits in the front row, wearing dark glasses, not to look cool, to hide, to disappear. He doesn't speak at the service. Can't. If he opens his mouth, he'll scream, or he'll never stop crying, so he says nothing, just sits there, surviving, barely. After everyone leaves, Dean stays, alone at the grave, just him and the casket, and he talks to his son, to himself, to God, to no one. I should have come to more birthdays, should have cancelled more shows, should have been there more, should have said no to Carson 100 more times, should have chosen you over the career every single time, but I didn't, and now you're gone, and I can't fix it, can't make it up, can't get another chance. He touches the casket. I love you. I should have said it more. Every day, every phone call, every moment, but I didn't say it enough. And now you'll never hear it again, and I'll never get to say it again, and that's my fault. That's on me. And she stays until dark, until someone from the funeral home gently says they need to close. Dean leaves, goes home, goes into his bedroom, doesn't come out for 3 days. When he does emerge, he's different. Everyone notices. The spark is gone, the charisma, the coolness. What's left is a shell, a man going through motions, existing but not living. He tries to perform. Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. convince him to do a reunion tour in the three of them. One last run. But Dean can't do it, can't pretend, can't be Dean Martin anymore. He walks off stage in the middle of a show in Chicago, just walks off, gets on a plane, goes home, never performs again. In his house, Dean develops a routine. Every day he goes into Dean Paul's old room, the room Dean Paul had when he lived at home. Dean hasn't changed anything. It's exactly as it was. Pictures, posters, trophies, and in the corner, in its case, is the guitar Dean gave Dean Paul on his 22nd birthday. Dean Paul left it at his father's house a few years before he died. Meant to pick it up. Never did. Dean takes the guitar out, sits on his son's bed, and plays, not for an audience, not for a show, just plays. The same songs they played together that night in 1973. The same chords. He plays and cries, plays and remembers, plays and wishes he could go back, wishes he could cancel every show, every appearance, every obligation, wishes he could choose his son every single time. But he can't, and that knowledge, that irreversible, unchangeable reality destroys him. His daughter Diana visits often, tries to pull him out of the darkness, tries to help him live again. But Diane is unreachable. He's polite, he's present, but he's not there. Not really. He died with his son. What's left is just waiting. One afternoon, Diana finds him in Dean Paul's room, playing the guitar, tears streaming down his face. "Dad, you need to stop doing this to yourself. I gave him this guitar. Did I ever tell you that? On his 22nd birthday, I cancelled the Tonight Show, flew to LA, gave him this guitar. It was the one time, the one birthday I showed up, and I thought that would be enough, thought that one time would make up for all the times I didn't show up. But it didn't. One time is nothing. One time is just a reminder of all the times you failed." Disorna sits next to him. "Dad, you were there when it mattered. He knew you loved him." Did he? Did he really? Or did he just accept that I was a bad father, that I would always choose the career, that he would always be second? Because that's what I taught him. Every missed birthday, every next time. I taught him that he wasn't the priority. And the one time I showed up doesn't erase that. It just makes it worse, because it proves I could have done it all along. I just chose not to. He puts the guitar down carefully. I told him that day. I said I couldn't get back the 21 birthdays I missed, but I could be there for that one. And I thought that was enough, but it wasn't. I should have been there for all of them, and I should have kept being there. But I didn't. The career came back, the obligations came back, and I went back to next time. And now there is no next time. There will never be a next time, and I have to live with that. For however many years I have left, I have to live knowing I failed him, and that one guitar, that one birthday, that one moment of being a good father doesn't change that. Diana doesn't know what to say, because he's right, and wrong, and both, and neither, because grief doesn't have logic, guilt doesn't have solutions. There's nothing she can say that will fix this, so she just sits with him, in her brother's room, while her father plays their grandfather's guitar, and cries for the son he lost, and the father he wishes he'd been. Dean Martin lives 8 more years, 1987 to 1995, 8 years of existing, not living, just existing, going through the day, waiting for it to end, waiting to be with his son again. He dies on Christmas morning, 1995, 78 years old, acute respiratory failure. That's what the death certificate says, but everyone who knows him knows the truth. He died of a broken heart. He died of guilt. He died of next time that never came. At Dean's funeral, Diana speaks. She tells the story of the guitar, the story of the 22nd birthday, the story of the one time Dean Martin cancelled everything and showed up. "My father lived with regret. He wished he'd shown up more, been there more, chosen us more, and he carried that guilt until the day he died. But I want you to remember something. He did show up. On November 14th, 1973, he cancelled the Tonight Show. He flew 3,000 miles. He gave his most precious possession to his son. And he said, 'I'm here, not next time, now.' That one moment mattered. That one birthday mattered. And my brother knew it mattered. He kept that guitar his whole life, played it constantly, treasured it, because it wasn't just a guitar. It was proof that his father loved him, proof that his father tried, proof that at least once he came first." She holds up a photo, Dean and Dean Paul, sitting on the floor of that small West Hollywood apartment, playing guitar together, both smiling, both present, both there. This is the photo my father kept on his nightstand. This moment, this birthday, not a photo of him with Sinatra, not a photo of him on stage. This one, because this was the moment he got it right. And even though he wished he'd gotten it right more often, at least he got it right once, and that once, that one birthday, that one choice, that one moment of being the father he wanted to be, that meant everything, to my brother, and to my father, and to us. She pauses, composes herself. If you take anything from my father's story, take this. Don't wait for next time. Don't assume you'll have another chance. Show up now. Cancel the show. Take the flight. Give the guitar. Be there, because next time might never come, and you'll spend the rest of your life wishing you'd chosen differently. My father did, and it haunted him. Don't let it haunt you. After the funeral, they buried Dean Martin, and next to his casket, they placed the guitar he gave his son, the guitar his son treasured, the guitar Dean played in his son's room for 8 years, crying, remembering, regretting. The guitar goes into the ground with him because it belongs with them, father and son, connected by wood and strings, and one birthday when Dean Martin chose right. One birthday out of 22. But that one birthday, that one choice, it mattered. It wasn't enough. Dean knew it wasn't enough, but it was something. It was proof that he could, proof that he loved, proof that when he really tried, when he really chose, he could be the father he wanted to be. The tragedy is that he didn't do it more. The grace is that he did it once, and that once, that single November night in 1973, became the most important night of both their lives. Not the performances, not the shows, not the career. That birthday, that guitar, that moment, that's what mattered. That's all that ever mattered.